Hello YouTube. Hi, this is Drew from Blu-ray Cinema and welcome today. Sorry about this, I fix the camera a little bit. There we go. So, hope everybody enjoys their weekend, and so hope you enjoy my videos so far and enjoy the journey while we're doing this and evolving and going through. So today I'm going to talk about one of the best sci-fi documentaries I've ever seen in my life, and talks about, I'll segue into it, put it that way. And what we're going to talk about today is, I don't know, there's many fans of this series. It's based on a series that's been going on for over 60 years, give or take. And even though it's some highs and some lows, more highs than lows, but this is a period in time where they did this documentary after one of the series of this popular franchise kind of fizzled out. Before Picard, before Starfleet Academy, which I've never seen, so I can't say if it's good or bad. And though I heard it got canceled after they're going to do another season, which sucks. And after a lot of films, the old Paramount ones and the J.J. Abrams ones, and that the J.J. Abrams is another situation and story to talk about. I gotta do my research on that, but that's nor here nor there. Now, what are we talking about today? We're talking about a show which is not so controversial, but yet political, kind of on, not say religious side of things, but talks about all kind of things and doesn't do Star Trek tropes at all. This went far from that. And what we're talking about today is Deep Space Nine, but not the whole series at all, because there'll be a lot of videos in that, probably several parts. Just talk about one season from next season to next season to next season, and I'm not going to do that right now. Plus, I haven't seen it in a while, so, and plus I don't have Deep Space Nine the series. And you go, well, why are you talking about? And you're asking myself, you as a viewer, why am I talking about this? Well, because I got this wonderful documentary that Shout Factory put out, released, and it's almost like a what if Deep Space Nine continued years later, if it got renewed or after it got canceled. Because Deep Space Nine, 7 seasons? 7. From 2000 and, no wait, from either 93 to 2000 or 95 to 0102. So, because that and Voyager were around the same, were like a year back to back of each other. One was 1 year, one came a year after, or a year and a half after. It's hard to say because it was almost neck and neck. This came when Star Trek show was ending, or just about or ended, the Star Trek, the original series, or no, Next Generation was just about ending. So this came out in '93, I believe, into 2000. So this is what we left behind. Looking back at Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and it's got people that worked on the show, like Ira Stephen Bear, David Sapone, all that good stuff, and interviews with some of the cast of Deep Space Nine, like Renee, I can't pronounce his last word, Amish Sharir, Andrew Robinson, stuff like that. mostly not the big cast. Except you do see the guy who played Cisco, I think, but in clips and stuff. But I don't think he's on the documentary. But you mostly watch the other castmates from the other thing. So it's about 2 hours long. But for Shout Factory, because they released this and they thought it was pretty cool, and I think it's pretty cool too. So it's about the series, how dark it was, how to do like not an anti Star Trek, but a Star Trek that put place in one location, and not being a spaceship, not going on other planets and all other stuff. I mean, yes, the show went to other planets, yes, but not that much as you would think, because they're around a space station, and you have a guy, a bar run by Ferengis, you have Klingons coming there, enemies coming there. Then you have like sort of political aspect. You have two enemy factions against each other. So like the Bajorans and the Cardassians, and it's a whole other place. And then you got Worf from TNG coming on this show. Halfway of the season's in, I think season 3 or season 4 began. He was there, and so you had and plus they did a crossover on TNG and a crossover on this on the show before the series really started getting going. And then you have person that Cisco knew before, and she's a different alien, but she also it's different every couple 100 years because it mutates into. So now it's a whole another issue that I'm not going to get into. And so you got like, the guy played Renee, who plays, I forget, I can't pronounce his last name, but plays a character in Odo, where he runs the space station. He's like not the commissioner, but not the captain, but sort of like an in between. So you have that. So you do have Star Trek like episodes where it feels like in the first season, episodes that were written for TNG or the original series end up on this until when it started going, and then officially started writing for this. And you had I forget his name, but one of the actors from TNG come on this show to be the main, not maintenance guy, but he used to do the transport. You know what I'm talking about, but he's there with a wife and a child now on this ship. So yeah, so it's pretty good. There's the back right there, and inside you get. Here, I don't show this too often like I used to, but there you go right there. And what you get right here is, I'll show this. Oh my God. Hold on, folks. That does happen. Fiends fall. Not my fault, but things do fall. So, okay, it didn't break. It didn't break. But I'm going to show you is this. There. That's the space. That's Deep Space Nine right there. I'll show right there. Well, hey, right there. That's the thing they're on. That's the thing they do stuff. That's the thing where the show mostly is. Where it's one location. See? You see better? So yeah. So it's not reversible cover. You just get like that, which I find is neat. So can you find this anymore? I don't think so. I don't think you can. I think it went. Believe it or not, it went out of print. So there's no DVD of it as I'm well aware of. But let me know in the comments below if there's a DVD or you can find this, because I want Groove or whoever, yeah, that site has it. They might. Excuse me. But if not, you're not going to find this anymore. But yeah, Deep Space Nine is a deep Star Trek show. It's very deep. It's dark. It's not all happy, fun and games, lighthearted stuff. It gets really dark sometimes. Really dark. But they do often leave the leave that space station and go elsewhere because they build a ship and go to other places to help the fight and stuff. And it goes on for 7 years, and they do a little time travel, and they do have, like, important episodes that the main star of the show directed a few times. So yeah, this is a very, very good, informative, and appreciative documentary. It's 1080, high def, 178.1. Comes in all languages. It's two hours. It's not rated, so you're going to get what you're going to get. And they talk about what if Deep Space Nine continued, or years later, if somebody would pick it up, or they had the money, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, anyway, usually I don't talk about TV shows on this channel except for excuse me, my bad. With the exception of Freddy's Nightmares or Tales from the Dark Side, if I do choose to talk about that Monday, or Friday 13th the series, which does not include Jason in it. It's fucking weird. It's weird even that exists, but it does. Also, this show, which nobody's ever heard of either, but I saw as a kid, and it only lasted maybe 2 or 3 seasons, and it's Poltergeist the series. Yes, there is such a thing called Poltergeist the series, and it has nothing to do with the movies at all. And you go, why is that? Well, number one, you have to watch it yourself. Number two, you'll understand the why in like the first one or two episodes. Now, is Poltergeist the series any good? I don't know, because I haven't seen it since I was a teenager or / young adult. I don't know. I can't say. I hadn't seen it in decades or years. However you want to say it or take it. So, I do recommend this. I do recommend anybody that loves Star Trek, get their hands on it, or loves Deep Space Nine, or any of the Star Treks before the J.J. Abrams stuff, or any of them before Star Trek, but they know Star Trek today, because, I saw Section 31, and it was, I can't say they didn't try with Section 31 as a movie, or the shows mentioning that stuff, or try to get into that stuff. Yeah, they tried a little bit, but it didn't work. The movie didn't work. Some of the characters I would love to see in something else. I had some character development somewhere, but that movie as a whole, there was absolutely positively none. And to me, it's like, Star Trek isn't dead, but I don't know where it's going now. It's like Star Wars. It has its ups and its downs, and it's got more ups and downs. But still, whoever takes the reins of it, is going to do it right or do it wrong, or we're not going to see another thing of it for maybe another 2-3 decades. You never know. But Star Trek can be good, and this is Star Trek when it was good, when it was, when it took chances, it took balls to do something like this. To rather say, hey, we've done enough of this, let's try this. And it worked. It worked. Because they took their time, and they got an audience, and then, or years later, they got their audience that they wanted, and that appreciates it. And I do appreciate this, even though I haven't seen the show in the last couple of years, but still, this documentary is great. It's informative, and if you haven't seen the show, Deep Space Nine, it makes you feel like you want to watch and take a look into it. It does. And that's very admirable and respectful. Could they do a Star Trek documentary now on the last 10 or so years of the Star Trek that we've been having. I mean, the J.J. Abrams to now, they could. Well, they probably not, because there's so much information out there. But before tons of information we have today, we have stuff like this, which is great. So I do recommend this, and so that's it. So hope everybody enjoys the day. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.